So you only had one quarterback ahead of Bryce Young in your college rankings this year, your draft rankings, and so he still remains ahead of Bryce Young. 37 for you in the Chris Simms top 40 quarterback countdown.
C.J. Stroud, Houston Texans, the number 2 pick in the draft, right? You know, again, I love C.J. Stroud. Yeah, he was my number 1 quarterback coming out. C.J. Stroud, to me, I mean, he's in a spot here where it's a great offense for him. The Shanahan play action, you know, be aggressive, throw the ball that way. That's perfect for C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud, you know, is awesome in the pocket. He is just a pure bullseye thrower of the football. And that's where I'm excited for him. Not only, you know, again, I know there was a lot of talk about his S2 and all that, but, man, it's hard to think that the S2 was real when you watch him on film. It's very few bad decisions ever. It's very few like, whoa, he didn't see the field or the coverage the right way. I mean, it's really impressive what he does in that department, right? So I'm excited for C.J. Stroud in the long term for sure. You know, I think he could be a star, definitely. But, you know, hey, it's a learning curve here. And he's, you know, like a Bryce Young, going to have a lot thrown on his plate. And he's not going to have the advantage of being on Ohio State's football team and all of that. And he's got some learning to do here. But I think he'll clearly be the starter from day one. He's just a better version of Davis Mills. And, again, you know, I think what he did in college, it wasn't maybe as advanced as Bryce Young, but still pretty good. He's got a pretty good base of NFL football playbook in his brain.
So much like Bryce Young, we can scout some tape on C.J. Stroud. We scouted the quarter-speed bootleg rollout for Bryce Young.
Bryce looked like a player in what I saw. I mean, again.
C.J., you mean?
Well, I mean, C.J., excuse me. C.J. would have made me feel a lot better about how he looked on the field compared to Bryce, right? I mean, look at this giant of a man.
Well, there's no one around him, though. They were smart. They didn't put any offensive linemen there. Yeah.
Right. You got the spat job going there, right? He's so mechanically smooth and perfect. You see how like effortless and flawless his motion is.
He looks good in that helmet, too.
Right? He looks good altogether. He does. He looks like a pro already.
I like that number,
So that's like I said. I would have felt a lot better if I was the GM of the Texans when he walked on the field than maybe the Carolina one where I'd have been like, oh, my gosh, that was dicey.
There were some concerns with him under pressure, right, in college, and I think we have a graphic.
Which I don't
addressed
really
that
get.
in the past.
I don't really get it. I mean, I don't like – this is where I challenge some of the grading companies that are out there. I want to go –
some of them? You don't want to name names
Well,
here?
they're all of them. I mean, you know, all of them. It's where I just the classified pressure and all of that.
Yeah,
it's such a broad subject. There's so much context to it.
So just randomly, I'm just going to say that we just have the stat from Pro Football Focus related to nothing that you were just talking about, and they have 75% of the time about he was in a clean pocket, but 25% of the time he was in a pressure situation. And in those times, he was only 41% completion percentage. His yards per attempt were half of what they were in a clean pocket, and just 6 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. But you take that with a grain of salt because you've always said to me, and I've learned this from you, you know, how are you classifying pressures and all that?
And then what is he being taught against those pressures?
Yes.
Right? That's the other thing, too. Like, you know, Bryce Young – I can look at some of the plays and go, oh, yeah, they got a pressure. But look, his O-line and everybody, they got everything fixed up, and they blocked it. Ohio State, they might have had the same blitz, right, the week before in a game, and they just go, we don't really think they're going to blitz that a lot. Or if they do, just throw it hot to Marvin Harrison Jr. And it's like, oh, the other team didn't know that they might throw it to Marvin Harrison when we blitz, right? So they got 2 guys or whatever. So the answers could be different, how the team's coached to handle those pressures. Some teams just go, hey, if they blitz, screw it. You got to get the ball to your hand, and we'll live to play another day. Other teams go, hey, if they blitz, we want to take advantage of this, and we're going to stop this blitz and teach them not to blitz anymore and gash them one time. There's just so many different things that go into that pressure, let alone like you're talking about. The pressure, I don't know. I mean, there's plays where I want to go back into the Michigan game and the Georgia game and other games where I'm going to go, is this not pressure with the people collapsing around him and him throwing a 40-yard laser down the middle? I don't get it. When is it pressure? So I did not have any problem with that at all when it came to C.J. Stroud. I thought it was one of the things that he was actually the best at.
Yeah.
When people were around him and he was under pressure in the pocket, he was unfazed and he still threw strikes all over the football field. So I think he's made for the NFL in that capacity. He's a high-level thrower of the football, and I'm excited for what he can do in Houston.
I'm perusing the internet for recent news
Yeah.
on all of them, and the thing that pops up for C.J. Stroud is that he's not speaking at the rookie minicamp. D'Amico
Wow.
Ryan's telling everyone, hold your horses, brother. When they asked why C.J. Stroud is not going to talk at minicamp, he says he's not the only player that we drafted. We've got multiple guys we drafted. We want to let you guys talk to all these guys, and C.J. will be able throughout the spring, later in the spring, also in training camp, so he will be available. Hold your horses, brother.
Okay.
So they're protecting him in Houston right now.
Yeah, well, maybe they just feel like there's been enough on him. Everybody's been talking about him here. They just want him to get playing football here, worry about that, and he'll have plenty of time in front of the media, and they'll be able to pepper him with as many questions as they want. Yo, thanks for watching, homies. It's the off season, but you know there's no off season for us here at Unbuttoned. Me, Ahmed Fareed, we're going to hit all the stories. So hit subscribe for us, okay? We got a ton coming up. My draft prospect rankings, my Simms top 40 quarterback countdown, and videos of me and NFL QBs playing catch and talking about their development and mechanics. Again, thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe. Peace out, homies. See you soon.